In today's video, we talk about when you shouldn't adjust calories. Good morning, guys. It is Monday. It is an awesome start to this week. We've got a crazy week ahead, and we're moving. We're moving, as many of you know who probably watch my videos, that we are moving, but the actual move date is Wednesday. Now, I've already cleared out my gym. Don't have a lot of stuff in here. I do gotta move the Z. Yeah. I don't get to drive that car very often, just because. But I am bringing it with me. I'm not leaving it at the old house. It wasn't included in the sale price. It's my car. But yeah, so the gym is gone, and a lot of our wardrobe is moved over. We've started packing up the pantry. Now we are having movers come and do like the boxes, the big items, the furniture. We have a company helping us with the television, like mounting, unmounting, all that nonsense. Stuff that would take me hours to do that they do in like 5 seconds. So yeah, not going to be overly stressful, hopefully, but you know, anytime you uproot your life like this, but it's for a better cause. We're moving to a house that suits our family better. Most importantly, the pool for the family is going to be huge, and then I think the neighborhood, we can talk about all that later. Let's talk about the topic at hand for today's video. Hopefully nobody got too annoyed with my April Fool's Day joke that I did with my client and friend Tony Steffen, who is an RD. We just thought it would be, probably it was my idea more than his, but you know, he went along with it. It'd be funny to do a April Fool's video since it was the first. And yes, detox water works wonders. But let's get back into real practical advice. And as I was going through updates this morning, a trend that popped up was that I was not adjusting, despite the fact that the evidence might say maybe you should be making an adjustment this week. As in, if you're in a fat loss phase and over the course of a week you didn't lose any weight, then maybe you would think there would be an adjustment. Or if we're in a building phase and things are stable, then maybe you'd think it'd be time to start adding some calories, something like that. So I wanted to actually go into when and where and why adjustments should be made. And one thing that's really helpful as a coach, you know, now that I've been doing this for I think going on 6 years now, is that I've got a lot of experience and a lot of evidence of things that I've seen and trends that I've noticed over the years to kind of help facilitate those decisions. But maybe you don't have that long history and you're looking for some advice, and if you clicked on this video, maybe this will help you out. So basically, here's what I want to talk about. The two areas where we typically would adjust during a fat loss phase. So let's say your macros, you hit them all week, your cardio, you hit it all week, training was good, sleep was good. Coach, I don't know why, but after this whole week, I didn't see a drop. Well, there's a few things that I like to look for to see if there should be a change. The first thing is, when was the most recent adjustment, right? So if we just adjusted, that was the first week of the adjustment after like 3 or 4 weeks, then I'll often give another half week to a full week to see if there's going to be a change. If we change things like cardio, if we change things like refeed strategy, sometimes it takes a little while for that to adjust. This is where pictures also come into play. Comparing pictures side by side and measurements. So sometimes we'll see a thigh or a waist measurement come in a little bit smaller. I'll notice in a picture a little bit of different detail. Maybe it's lighting, maybe, you know, if the pictures are really good and comparable, I can kind of see, oh, you know what, there's a little difference in the oblique this week. There's a little more detail in the glute hamstring tie-in area. Lower back for men is really big. Like lower back really starts to tighten up when guys lose body fat. So these are the kind of things I can look for, because although when we're in a fat loss phase and you know you want the overall trend of the scale to be down, there are weeks where the scale does not move, but you are getting leaner. Does this mean that you're adding lots of muscle? Yeah, probably not. You know, there may be some changes to lean body mass, but you got to remember that the body is so dynamic. It's not an equation where A plus B equals C. We're talking about things like hormones, stress, sleep, hydration, muscle soreness. There's so many things that go into a factor of seeing the scale change. And so yeah, I don't like to be overly aggressive with changes unless, now there are always going to be unlesses. I don't ever speak in absolutes. Those times would be, you know, if we're getting down to the nitty gritty of contest prep and we're like 4 weeks out and we need to lose 6 pounds to be stage ready, which hopefully I don't have people in that situation, but I work with people from all walks of life. And of course, sometimes people come to me like, hey, I really want to do this show. And I think they have their head on straight, and I'll work with them, even if it means we got to be a little aggressive if I feel that they have it in them. So yeah, there's times when, even though I would typically like to hold steady, we will go ahead and make an adjustment. Now, what I would prefer is a longer prep, allow those changes to occur, allow us to diet on the most calories possible, the least amount of cardio, so we can get to that place the most reasonable manner. However, it's going to get tough. Contest prep is going to get hard for every single person. You're going to reach that place where it's going to suck. You're going to get below body fat levels that most normal human beings feel comfortable at. So for contest prep, I might be a little more aggressive. However, when we're talking about just general fat loss, that's where I'll actually wait 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, kind of see some changes, kind of adjust some things. So typically, 1 week, if I don't see a weight change, I'm going to look for some other things that kind of indicate. Maybe, you know, for females, definitely hormone shifts, you know, once a month can play a big role in my decision making. But week over week, I'm kind of looking at the big picture, right? I'm not just looking at the week, I'm looking at the 2 weeks before that, the 3 weeks before that. Sometimes we'll have somebody loses 3 pounds 1 week, and the next week they don't lose any. And so it's kind of just the body balancing itself out. Does that mean we do adjust? Does that mean we need to adjust? Probably not. We're probably going to see some more progress at that point. We just saw such a big shift on the scale that the next week it kind of leveled off. Another thing I want to talk about is deep into contest prep. So the cool thing about fat loss early on is that it's kind of linear, right? So, you know, you can kind of lose like 1 pound a week, 1.5 pounds a week, be pretty consistent, level off, make an adjustment, and then you see that kind of steady. From my experience as a competitor and with clients, I tend to see this very much so, and the leaner you get, very, very much so, is nonlinear fat loss. Meaning, when you get really lean, you don't lose linear, meaning you don't lose like 0.1 every day over time and get to that 1 pound after 10 days. No, it's usually like steady, 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 drop 2 pounds. And it might be 2 weeks between those drops. Those types of huge drops that are nonlinear are super annoying, especially if you're in contest prep and you feel like you're not making progress. This is where pictures tell a different story, because I can look at pictures side by side and go, there's clearly a drop coming. Or did you have a refeed recently? Or maybe you had a double refeed, 2 consecutive days and the scale didn't drop. Well, that can be a sign that your metabolism is going to give you a big drop coming up shortly, because even though we doubled your carbohydrates for a couple days, the scale didn't move. So there's some good things going on here. So that's where I like to really look at the big picture, the weeks leading up to it, the history with the client, their history of dieting. Do they have a hyper-adaptive metabolism, meaning we have to stay on top of it week after week, or is there going to be a consistent change if we just allow things to happen? Being too aggressive with the changes can lead to frequent stalling, metabolic adaptations that we don't want to see too early. So this is where, you know, kind of my personal experience as a competitor, dieting down, and also my experience as a coach working with people and seeing how things have happened has really helped influence the way I make my decisions. The other time that holding steady can be good is when we're looking at like a situation where we're adding calories, either like a reverse diet, a metabolic building period, where the goal is really to get the metabolism up. And typically if the weight goes up 1 pound or 2, we would think, oh, we got to hold steady with the calories this week. We don't want to add. But we got to look at how that week went. So during a reverse diet, during a period where we're adding calories, oftentimes people will get a little more lax with their food choices. They'll go out to eat, they'll be a little more social, and that's all good. That's what we want. So if I see that happening, if someone in their update says, hey, coach, like my weight's up 2 pounds, but it was my birthday, it was my friend's wedding, we went out, my weight is up 2 pounds, what should we do? I will add calories quite often during that, because since they're already up in weight and they already ate a little bit more calories that week, we might as well bump their daily calories up. They're going to use that energy for fuel and allow their metabolism to adapt. It's usually going to be, like I said, something before, sodium related, those types of things, unless they just went way off the reservation. If they went way off the reservation, I want to go ahead and bump up the calories anyway, because that is our goal at the end of the day. And the body fat you put on in a reverse diet, if you put it on quickly, I'm not interested in dieting it off. So that's kind of the opposite kind of thinking that I wanted to discuss today. That there are times when fat loss isn't happening, we don't adjust. And there are times when during a reverse diet, we're actually seeing the scale go up, that we still add calories or reduce cardio or do whatever it is we're going to do for that person. At the end of the day, it all comes down to experience. It all comes down to talking to the client, making sure that they're happy with the direction things are going. And there are times where during a reverse, the scale is stable and the client feels they should hold steady, and I'm fine with that. Like, at the end of the day, you know, I want to make the best decision for the client, and sometimes that's not what I feel the best decision is. It's what's best for the psychology of that person, for the mental well-being, as it were. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for today. Quick, short video for Monday. I'm really excited about the big changes that are going on in life. I just booked my trip for the NPC Junior Nationals in Chicago. Lauren Conlon and I will be there with clients. So it's my first time going to the NPC Junior Nationals. That's going to be awesome. We also have some things coming up next couple months. I've got the Europa, which is going to be in Orlando. The Orlando Europa, I'll be at that all weekend with clients. And I'm sure I'll be announcing a few other events that I'll be at. Going to be doing a fun things in 2017. Anyway, hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. Sorry I'm a little scatterbrained, but this week is going to be a little bit cray-cray. You guys have an awesome Monday.